Welcome to one more edition of Politics Done Right. I'm Egberto, Willies, your host. Today we have a special guest, Brenda Rodriguez Lopez, Washington Immigrant Solidarity Network. Welcome to Politics Done Right, Brenda. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great. Thank you so much for having me.
Before we get started, tell me a little bit about yourself along with your organization.
I am an undocumented immigrant from Mexico. I came to the United States at the age of 9 to reunite with my family. I crossed the border. I was with a group of people. We ran out of food. We ran out of water. So I'm sitting here with you today as a result of the love and care of my community. I have been in this country now for 21 years, have lived in Washington State, specifically in East and Central Washington for 21 years. And I have the honor to be one of the executive directors for the Washington Immigrant Solidarity Network, which is a statewide network of over 400 organizations organizing undocumented immigrants and refugees to advance our rights, to protect one another. And what we really do, the bread and butter, is deportation defense and rapid response. So we mobilize our communities when immigration enforcement, ICE, is knocking at our door. And we organize a multilingual, multi-faith, multi-ethnic, multiracial coalition of organizations. And I do this work because it's deeply personal. And growing up in rural Washington, I got to experience firsthand the lack of resources, the lack of infrastructure. So I started organizing as an undocumented youth to fight deportation defense cases and to create opportunities for undocumented youth that wanted to go to higher education. And it is through that work that I met WISEN in 2016. When organizations came together to build a unified movement, because we knew that we were going to be under attack and under a very xenophobic, racist, unapologetic administration in 2016. And so that's why I started to organize with this network. And that same year that I started in 2018, my hometown of Basin City, where I grew up, was raided, and over 10 community members were arrested and detained on their way to work, who were the friends of my parents, who were the parents of the children that I went to school. And so WISEN, we organized to mount pressure at the local jails to get our families released. We bonded people out of detention, and within 72 hours, we had organized to get 9 out of the 10 people released from detention. One of them being a person that was with me through the journey coming to the U.S., who cared for me, who gave me the little bit of food, the little bit of water
As you travel across.
Yes, and he was detained on his way to work, and so he was one of the people that we mobilized.
Did he get deported, or you're able to save him?
He's in our communities. He's back with his family. So a full circle moment, right, and a reminder of why I do this work.
Now let me ask you something, because did I understand you right that what you did was made a coalition of all these different groups that are working for the deported, for the undocumented workers, etc.? So what you did is got all of these together? That is great. Now the next question, however, is, as an undocumented, first of all, at 9 years old, did you even know what undocumented mean?
No.
When did you find out that there was a problem?
I grew up, I was raised by my grandparents. My dad would come and go from the U.S., and so I knew that he would go somewhere in the world to work so that my siblings and I could have a better life.
In Mexico?
In Mexico, right? So I knew he was in the U.S., and he would send money, and And the goal was for all of us to be together one day. At the age of 9, I made that courageous decision to come and reunite with my family, not understanding what that.
When you said you made that courageous decision, did you come with a family member across, or you just had an older person that was with you to come across?
I came with other family.
Okay.
Yeah, I made that courageous decision to join that family.
And your mother was left behind in Mexico, or?
My family, the rest of my family was already here.
Oh, they were already
so I
here.
was the last person in my immediate family.
Now, is your entire family undocumented, or just? And okay. And did you? I imagine you fell under the Dreamers Act, so that's one of the reasons that you can actually be present.
Yes, I am a DACA recipient for the program Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. I was in high school when the program became available after Immigrant Youth organized for years and mounted pressure to President Obama. So I'm one of the recipients, and through that work I have been able to dream, really.
That's why they called it the Dreamer.
The Dreamer, right? To dream and to go to a university, to be able to do this work, to be able to, in many ways, be more unapologetic, right?
Well, I mean, I'm originally from Panama. I'm Central American, right? I came here. I am a naturalized American citizen now. I feel no restriction, there's no apologizing for me being in America, especially given the country's history, and no one should ever feel that they have some apology to give when we know that is the documented undocumented workers, etc., are partially the lifeblood of our society. And the only reasons that we have issues with it is because it is financially advantageous to create a degree of fear within a group of people that ensures that they don't get the quality of life that will cost the employers more, etc. So those are things that don't have to be told to me, but that, however, needs to be told to the America in the aggregate. Let our workers stop for a week and see what happens in this country.
Absolutely.
Okay?
So that is why WISN exists, to not only organize the immigrant justice movement, right?
But to educate.
Through organizations, the labor movement, because we are a multi-issue, multi-faith network, and we're also organizing queer, trans, undocumented immigrant refugees, folks like my parents, right? To know what their rights are, to know how to advocate for themselves. I know I always had a voice, right? I was never voiceless. I knew what I needed to be well, to thrive. I needed an opportunity and I needed a platform. So as WISN, we are politicizing our community so that they can be the speakers, the ambassadors of their own liberation.
Exactly.
And so we convene our immigrant justice movement, and we organize undocumented immigrants at a statewide level.
Absolutely. Well, look, first of all, it is great to see a young person like yourself take the bull by the horn fearlessly and actually do the work. And I think, first of all, how can people help this organization give more, what is the word that I want to use? Exposure to this organization. How can they do that?
Yes. Well, the Washington Immigrant Solidarity Network, we are based in Washington State. So there's a couple things that people can do. One is to follow us on social media and stay connected to our work. That is this place where we share information, resources, we share when there's a raid in the community, help us amplify the work that we're doing. We also have a Verified Bond Fund, which is the only community-sourced bond fund in the Pacific Northwest that is bonding immigrants out of the detention centers, not just in in Tacoma, where we have the Northwest Detention Center, but also across the country. Folks can go to our social media, can go to our website. If folks are able and willing to, I would encourage folks to donate, as 100% of the money goes into bonding people out. And I would also ask our movement and the rest of the people that are listening that immigration is at the intersection of every issue, right?
Yes.
Environmental justice is an immigration issue.
Yes.
LGBTQ liberation is an immigration issue. So as we are coming to spaces like this, like Netroots, as we are convening as movements, as we are strategizing, we need to be very intentional of that and be aware that there are active forces that are trying to pivot us against each other. And so being intentional of not negotiating immigrants out of those conversations. And so folks can stay connected to us through our social media, Facebook, Instagram, all social media platforms. And for folks that are in Washington, I invite you all to also reach out as we are actively building community groups that will be ready to mobilize.
But you are national, correct?
We are statewide.
You're statewide, but do you collaborate with other
Absolutely.
states? That's what's important, because we will be seen all over the country. So Brenda, it's been my honor to speak to you, and thank you for the work that you're doing, and you keep pushing on.
Yeah. Thank you.
We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead, number 1, subscribe to our channel, and number 2, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.